Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tribe Talk. Jim Rosenhaus along with you this weekend from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, where the Indians are taking on the Kansas City Royals in a 3-game series, the start of the final road trip of the season for the Indians, with 3 in Chicago to follow the first of next week. Glad you tune in to this week's show as we have Ross Atkins lined up for a look back at the minor league season. The Indians' Vice President of Player Development will give us a look at some of his breakthrough stories of the year, minor league-wise, some of the top prospects who had a solid season and who to keep an eye on in the future for the Indians. We'll also hear from Columbus Clippers manager Mike Sarbaugh, who is with the Indians coaching staff for the remainder of the season. And we'll have much, much more, including a look at the week gone by, when we come back and get rolling with Tribe Talk right here on the Cleveland Indians Radio Network.
Listen up, everybody. This is Flo with a Progressive Insurance Alert. Don't even try to change that channel. I'm on all of them. So, you already know Snapshot rewards our customers for their good driving. Well, now anyone can test drive Snapshot for free, even if you have insurance with another company. See how much you could save before you switch your insurance. Why wouldn't you try it?
Test drive Snapshot today. Visit progressive.com/snapshot. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states.
Hi, I'm Trent Richardson of the Cleveland Browns. I work hard to stay in shape, and I make a lot of choices every day. Here's the easy one. I go to Subway restaurants where I can get a choice of oh-so-tasty, better-for-you subs. Subway restaurants has all the options I like all in one place. And the best part, I can change it up depending on my mood. I can choose any of the 8 subs for under 6 grams of fat, like the turkey breast and Black Forest ham, piled high with all the veggies I need. Or I can double down and add double meat to my favorite, steak and cheese, to fuel up for my bone-crushing workouts. Subway, the official training restaurant of Trent Richardson and you.
Additional charge for double meat.
Mead believes that learning experiences between parents and children should be memorable. The Mead workbook line available at Discount Drug Mart is comprehensive, engaging, and full of fun early learning activities. ProPoints members can earn great prizes and discounts by purchasing Mead workbooks. Mead early learning products provide children with their building blocks for learning success.
Discount Drug Mart saves you the runaround. Discount Drug Mart saves you the runaround. You'll find everything you need.
It's just an old ball, really. Nothing more. We owned it and shared it. We prayed it would come to us, and we wanted to give it away. We have watched it weather storms and bask in the sun, and it's always right here.
This ball is
in our hands. Cleveland Indians, celebrating tradition.
the pitch to Chisenhall. A swing and a long drive, deep right field, ball game! It hits near the track, rolls to the wall, and Lonnie Chisenhall with a game-winning single. He's getting mobbed behind the pitcher's mound. Swung on, bounced back up the middle, base hit into center field. It's a game winner. Casey Kotzman with his 3rd hit today bangs a single back up the middle. And in 10 innings, the Cleveland Indians have beaten the Minnesota Twins by a final score of 4-3. Welcome back to Tribe Talk. Jim Rosenhaus along with you from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, where the Indians are playing the Royals in a weekend series. It's been an interesting week gone by for the Indians, still struggling to win consistently. But when they have won lately, it's been in dramatic fashion, including the last game of the last road trip, scoring off of Joe Nathan with 3 runs in the top half of the 9th inning to defeat Texas in a last at-bat victory. Then it was a walk-off win on Sunday after dropping the first 2 games of the home series against the Tigers. They got to Jose Valverde with the game-winning runs in the bottom half of the 9th inning, and it was Lonnie Chisenhall that provided the game-winning base hit. The third baseman has been swinging the bat extremely well after coming back from a broken right forearm, back sooner than some had expected. And we talked with Lonnie after his game-winning base hit about how things have been going since he has returned.
Lonnie, I can't imagine how good that feels based on what you've gone through this year with a broken forearm. You said you'd come back, you came back, and what a moment this had to be for you.
It's just fun to be back in the lineup, and especially getting a win like this after they took 2 from us. It's just fun to get it done that way.
And Lonnie, when you talk about your approach since you've been back, you've been much more patient, but not here in that 9th inning. You jumped on that first pitch, and what was the strategy there for you?
Yeah, I mean, I know I was hacking first pitch. He's going right at you. If he throws something in the dirt, oh well, I got 2 more to get it done. So, I'm happy with the way things worked out. I'll stay aggressive.
Hey, Lonnie, how important is this time for you here in September with everything you've had to go through? I mean, you kept saying, I'm telling you, I'm coming back. There had to be a reason why you felt this was so important.
Well, I just wanted to beat the predictions. They said 10 weeks, and, I was back and playing baseball at 8.5, so, that's definitely a plus for me. You always want to, keep pushing yourself. But I knew there was a lot of at-bats to get up here in September, and, I'm trying to get ready for next year and, make another run.
And Lonnie, I know that original plan sounded like maybe every other day for you, but it seems like you're in there more often than that. Are you feeling better than you thought you would?
I feel good, and I assume, you keep swinging the bat, they'll find a spot for you in the lineup. The forearm feels great, especially when you're getting hits and things like that. So, I'll just keep it rolling. If I'm in the lineup, I'm in there. So.
Well, Lonnie, congratulations. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy it.
Thanks, guys.
That's Tribe third baseman Lonnie Chisenhall talking about his game-winning base hit and his return to action sooner than expected for the Indians. Well, it was on to a series with the Twins during the week at home, and the series finale came Thursday afternoon. The Indians winning it in 10 by a final score of 4-3. Another walk-off win, this time courtesy of Casey Kotchman, who came up with a bases-loaded single to win it for the Tribe in the bottom of the 10th, and he stopped by after the game to talk about his big hit.
First off, congratulations. I know people always say, well, bases are loaded. Now's the time to get the game-winning hit. Easier said than done. What's your mindset when you go to the plate there?
Hey, just try to, not do a whole lot and get a pitch and hit it.
Well, and indeed you did that, Casey. And we know that this ball club obviously isn't going to play in October, but, the effort has still been there. It's amazing how many close games you guys have played here in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we just got to finish strong. I mean, the objective is the same each and every day, whether you're in first place or wherever you're at in the standings. The objective is to win, and, that's what we guys have to do and focus, just play the game of baseball, have fun, and see what happens here.
And Casey, a good day all around for you at the plate. Swung the bat as well as we've seen in a little bit, and I know playing time's been somewhat infrequent for you of late, but what was the key for you today?
I just got a couple pitches to hit and put them in play, found a couple holes, and, the boys were on base for me all day long.
Casey, the Indians have 6 more games left with the White Sox, 3 of them on this upcoming road trip. Those are really the fun games, aren't they, when you're playing teams now where you've got a chance to maybe ruin their season?
Well, no doubt. I mean, you're going to go to Chicago and, not to overlook Kansas City, but, you're going to play in front of a packed house, and it should be fun for us.
Well, Casey, we appreciate you joining us. Congratulations. Big hit here to win it.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you very much.
That's Tribe first baseman Casey Kotchman following his game-winning base hit Thursday afternoon in an extra inning win over the Twins. Indians received a boost to their lineup this week. Designated hitter Travis Hafner returned to the club. Played in Wednesday night's game, was also in the lineup Friday night against the Royals. Before Friday's game, we had a chance to visit with Travis and touch on a variety of subjects, including his willingness to come back and try and get some playing time in at the end of the season despite some injury issues toward the tail end.
Yeah, I mean, once kind of the back doctor gave me the okay to, start doing stuff and, get back to playing, everything felt great. And fortunately been able to get back here for the last 2.5 weeks, and it'll just be good to get out there. And, I love playing the game, love just hanging out with the teammates, and, hopefully we can finish up the season as strong as possible.
And you mentioned just liking being around the team and doing what you can. How frustrating is it when you do come up with an injury seemingly out of nowhere that holds you up for a while?
Yeah, I mean, it's the worst. You spend so much time in the off season and during the season, training and doing stuff to, get in the best shape possible. And, when you have something like that forces you to go to the disabled list, it's just extremely frustrating because you want to be out there every day, and to not be able to do that is really tough.
And when you look back on this season, regardless of what happens here the next couple of weeks, how are you going to look back on it both personally and team-wise on how things went?
It was obviously a very frustrating year. We were, kind of right at the trade deadline, a couple games back at Detroit, still feeling like we hadn't played our best baseball. Actually kind of winning that series against Detroit, we thought might be a changing point in the season, and, it actually was, but not the way that we were hoping to. So, I mean, I think that was, it was frustrating. We were expecting to do a lot better and to be right in the thick of things right now.
I know Manny Acta has said having you in the lineup makes the offense better, and he says that from the standpoint of it makes the other hitters better. And do you feel that way too when you're going well and you're in the lineup, that it can make everyone else a little bit better as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the veteran guys on the team, and I think I can bring a good presence to the team and joke around with guys and do things to try to make other people more comfortable, and just kind of a familiar face in there. But at the same time, I feel like I can still hit the ball at the ballpark and drive in runs and get on base and do a lot of productive things on offense.
Travis Hafner joining us, Indians designated hitter, back in the lineup tonight after rejoining the team earlier this week. And Travis, at the end of the season, I know some decisions need to be made. And have you thought about it much, what the future holds here for you in Cleveland?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really thought about it a whole lot. I mean, at the moment, there's not really much to think about. I haven't really, talked to anybody in the front office or anything like that. And I think there's also, the organization, there's, some uncertainty on what's going to happen, as far as the roster next year and what direction they may want to go and things like that. So, at the moment, I'm just, focusing on finish this season up well. And, I think once the off season rolls around, we'll kind of see what's available and, what my options are.
Is it tough sometimes keeping that business side away from the playing side and just focusing on what you need to do?
Actually, not really. You learn kind of pretty early on that your focus needs to be completely on the game, and if you're worried about other things or thinking about things other than the baseball game, it gets to be a really tough sport. So, just trying to really enjoy every game and just focus on the game at hand and not worry about other things.
Obviously, a lot of frustrations regarding the ball club and how things have gone, but has it been any easier because of some good things happening personally for you this season off the field?
Yeah, I mean, I try to enjoy life as much as possible and, be positive and have a good time, as much as I can. Certainly having our second son born was obviously very special and, something I'll never forget. So from the family side, things are fantastic and, just, baseball-wise, just trying to enjoy myself and have fun out there playing and finish up the season strong and then kind of see what happens from there.
All right, Travis, good to see you back in the lineup. Thanks a lot for coming by. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Rosie.
That's Tribe designated hitter Travis Hafner talking about a variety of subjects, including his future, which right now is very uncertain for him heading into the off season. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll hear from Ross Atkins, Indians Vice President of Player Development. Some updates on the Indians farm system with play in the minor league seasons having concluded. That's coming up shortly as Tribe Talk continues on the Indians Radio Network.
Refunds on ATM fees.
Discounts on loans. KeyBank believes that your banking relationship should be a rewarding one.
Higher interest CDs.
Mortgage closing discounts.
That's why we reward you every chance we get, from providing complimentary checks on selected accounts to reward points for everyday banking that you can redeem for stuff you want.
I got a bike. That's a nice bike, that bike.
So for a more rewarding banking relationship, visit a KeyBank branch today or go to key.com/getrewards. KeyBank, unlock your possibilities. Certain restrictions apply. For full details, visit key.com/getrewards. Member FDIC.
Today is Saturday.
Today, you look to the best to get better.
With 27 Cleveland Clinic locations,
world-class care is always near you.
Call today for an appointment today.
Call 1-888-223-CARE for your same-day appointment.
Cleveland Clinic. Every life deserves world-class care.
Cleveland Clinic is a proud partner of the Cleveland Indians.
Welcome back to Tribe Talk. Jim Rosenhaus along with you from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City this weekend. The Indians in the midst of their final road swing of the season. 3 here in Kansas City over the weekend, and then 3 more in Chicago Monday through Wednesday before returning home for that last homestand of the season that opens up next Friday night against these same Kansas City Royals. Earlier this week, we had a chance to catch up with Ross Atkins, the Indians' Vice President of Player Development. The minor league seasons are now complete with the recent Akron Arrows championship in the Eastern League, and we asked Ross to take a look back at the season and at the minor league system as a whole for the Indians and give us a gauge of where he thought the most improvement was and how he saw things in an overall scope.
You know, we said early on that we needed to see guys make steps forward, take steps forward, and see progress from our younger prospects, and we certainly saw that. We saw that across our system. We saw that at every level. I think if you look at AAA and how guys finished there, how Russ Kanzler finished the season, how Tim Fedorov finished the season, how Cord Phelps finished the season, they put themselves in positions to help a major league team. David Huff and Jenmar Gomez, you know, both did some things that helped them in their careers and in their development. And then, you know, on the relief pitcher front, we have a long list of names that Cody Allen, who's already here and having a lot of success, to Sean Armstrong and Trey Haley in Double-A, and the progress that Danny Salazar made as a starting pitcher. And then at the lower levels, we've talked about it all year. We've talked about the progress of Lindor and Paulino, Ronnie Rodriguez, Tony Wolters, Giovanni Urshela. That list is long. Every single one of those players is better. I didn't mention Jesus Aguilar and Roberto Perez in Double-A, and We feel like each one of those individuals, each name that I brought up, is a better player this year than they were a year ago. So that's what we wanted to be able to say at the end of the year, and we're comfortable saying it. And that's the only way that we can really assess objectively, did we have progress in a given year. Having said that, it's really more fair to assess where our progress is in the major leagues, and that will continue to be our focus. We do have the small wins, the small victories that we can find plenty of positivity, but we've got to find wins on the major league field.
It seems there's so many resources now to judge farm systems, and maybe everybody does it in a different way, but between Baseball America, USA Today, ESPN, and all of them, MLB, at times the Indians have come under criticism for where they're at. And how do you look at that when you see that, and what do you try and look for when you look for positives?
Well, those evaluations are very present-minded. They're looking at what is your talent right now. And the difference is to think about it, one, from how does all of that talent project if it does improve. And really, if you are assessing just player development, then you're just going to assess strides. You're going to assess, did this player start here and end where? So that progress is what we're looking at to evaluate player development. So all of that information is information that we are aware of and information that we don't necessarily dismiss. Baseball America does a fantastic job of collecting information as objectively as they possibly can. And all of those other media outlets do a fantastic job because they're as passionate about baseball as we are, and they know the system, they know players, but we ultimately know our players better than anybody, and I think any of those media outlets would tell you that as well. So what I can tell you is that our process is better, our players are better, and our talent is improving over the course of these last few years, and our talent has improved in 2012.
Well, let's take a look at some different categories. You mentioned a boatload of players that you've been very high on this season. And let's start with that under-the-radar type player. And you mentioned Roberto Perez, the catcher who spent most of his season at Akron. What did you like there, and what did he bring to the table that maybe wasn't noticed as much?
Well, Roberto Perez, you'd have to look deep into the stat lines to see his progress and his success because most of it is defensive. He has just been incredible from really the start as a defender. He's naturally talented as a blocker, as a receiver, as a thrower. He's becoming a better leader. He's becoming a better game caller. But in 2012, he was changing baseball games with his defense, his ability to throw behind runners, cut down the running game, block balls, take control of the pitching staff. And really, I think if you had to identify a leader of that Akron team and who was a true difference maker from the start of the season to the end, it would be him. It's a lot easier to do that at the position he's playing. And if you do that, if you make an impact as a catcher or as a shortstop or as a center fielder, those middle-of-the-diamond players, you can really have a large effect on a team. And he's done that and shows the ability to do that at the major league level.
Two players who were in Major League camp, one just on game days a couple of times, another guy who started in Major League camp. Two pitchers, Cody Allen, you mentioned him, and Danny Salazar, who really made incredible strides. Usually when a player gets sent to minor league camp or just comes over from the minor leagues, we don't see him again until maybe next spring training. But Allen's here in the big leagues. Danny Salazar very strong with Akron. What enabled them to make the progress they did this year?
You know, Cody Allen, that is every single ounce of that credit goes to him. Obviously the signing scout and, his amateur performances and experiences. So he was not in player development long. Obviously, there aren't too many stories that you're drafted in the 23rd round and you're in the major leagues at just over the halfway point. So a really remarkable story. He's going to end up somewhere in the neighborhood of having 70 innings, and about almost half of those, or certainly more than a third of those, at the major league level with a lot of success. He's getting strikeouts here. He's not just competing. So there's signs of him being a dominant relief pitcher. And I think that really starts with talent. Obviously, you've got to have the ability to get a fastball and a breaking ball by a bat, but it really ends with what's between his ears, and he has supreme confidence with how he handles himself. He was the same guy in the major leagues as he was in the minor leagues, and I would love to tell you that we, had a lot to do with that, but I really think the credit goes to him and the signing scout and the scouting department.
And for Danny Salazar, I know there were some injury issues that he was still on the way back from. You got a glimpse of him in Major League camp, but how surprising was his rise to the AA level and having success there?
Just really, really fantastic job on his part of sticking to a process as far as the rehab is concerned, which can be extremely arduous. I mean, it's just not a fun process to go through, to be not competing in Goodyear, Arizona, when there's not a lot of players around, there's not a lot of baseball being played, and you're strengthening very small muscles around your elbow. And that medical time, that time with the medical staff has really paid off. And now we're also seeing some of the fundamental strides that he's made with our pitching coordinator, our pitching coaches. And as a professional pitcher a year ago, we talked about Danny as potentially having a lot of athleticism, pitching in the low 90s with a feel to get the ball over, and potentially a back-of-the-end rotations type starter. And now a year from then, we're talking about someone who's 95 to 99 with an above-average breaking ball and a chance to be a top-of-the-rotation starter. So that's in a year's time with Tommy John surgery. And really, those types of strides when guys are making jumping scout grades by 1 and 2 complete grades, that is a rare occurrence. And we've had a couple of those this year in our system.
Ross Atkins joining us, Tribe Vice President of Player Development. We talked before we started, can you pick one minor league player of the year? Tough to do, so we kind of lumped a bunch of guys in there that would be contenders. And the middle infield has been a strong suit in the lower minor leagues, and it seemed like that played out during the minor league season.
Yeah, all of those guys, I mentioned them early on in this talk, and, from Francisco Lindor to Dorsey's Paulino, Tony Walters, Ronnie Rodriguez, Jose Ramirez, every single one of those individuals has a chance to not only play shortstop, but to play in the middle of the diamond. They've all shown the ability to play short and second. They've all shown the ability to hit. They've all shown the ability to be just about an average runner, plus instincts, plus arm. All of them have these attributes that could be middle of the diamond type players. Now, will all of them become starting major league players? Probably not. But I think of this group, this is certainly the strongest group of middle infielders I can recall in 17 years of being here with the Cleveland Indians. So I think we're definitely going to hit on 2 or 3 of them, and we'll see them hopefully in the middle of the diamond and Progressive Field for a long time. But we could probably identify any of those individuals that I just mentioned and make a case for them being the minor league player of the year.
As we conclude, we take a look ahead to next season and some players who we didn't hear much about this season because of injury. 2 pitchers in particular we saw in Major League camp, C.C. Lee, Austin Adams. Both missed significant time with injury. What's their status, and what do you look for from them in terms of the future?
Well, what we told them is that they need to take advantage of this time down to understand and appreciate how valuable that time was when they weren't down, when they were competing, when they were active, and they could go out there every 5 days or every 2 or 3 days and perform and pitch. And I think there's no better lesson sometimes for our younger player than having that taken away from them, and really respecting what it means to stay healthy, what it means to be consistent, and how much more fulfilling it ultimately is. And ultimately, for you to be a professional athlete, that's the first piece of the puzzle, is can you stay on the field? So going through that oftentimes can be a maturation that is career altering. And I think both individuals have really taken advantage of the time to solidify other aspects of their game, the mental side, the physical side, when the strength and conditioning, nutrition, watching baseball, learning from it and understanding it, that when they come back, they'll come back more complete players. And that's what we'll be looking to assess. Are they more complete? Not necessarily are they better with their fastball, but are they more complete as an individual and as a professional athlete? And then there's the chance that they will come back, as Carlos Carrasco and Danny Salazar have both come back and initially are throwing 2 to 3 miles an hour harder than they were before surgery. So it's amazing some of the things that are accomplished in hospital rooms these days. And the Tommy John procedure is a completely different procedure. It's not a completely different procedure, just the execution of it has evolved so much that the success rates, when they are successful, when we are on that side of the fight, are often impressive.
And as we close, the games are done, regular season, playoffs, but your department, as much as any other, a year-round business. And what's up next for the player development end of things for the Indians?
Well, we've got, there's a lot on our list of things to do as we look to prepare guys for the off season, prepare guys for instructional league, prepare guys for winter ball, and ultimately get them ready and starting to think about 2013. There's staff, there's personnel issues, there's most importantly the issues with the players, and there's the programs that I mentioned, like the instructional league, and then we'll have the winter development program as well. We have strength and conditioning camps that occur throughout the entire off season, and really it's our busy time. It's our time to act. It's our time to make decisions and really start to frame 2013. So there's never any downtime, but this is an extremely busy time for us, and making sure that everyone feels as though that they're being treated the same, and that we do have a concrete plan for 150 players and 50 staff members, and it's a time of prioritization.
Well, Ross, I know our shows are winding down. We'll have one more next week. We'll catch up with you from the Instructional League, get a flavor of that from Goodyear, Arizona next week. But thanks, as always, for the visit.
All right, Rosie. Thanks for having me.
That's Indians Vice President of Player Development, Ross Atkins. And when we come back, we'll visit with one of the key members of the Indians development system. That's their AAA manager, Mike Sarbaugh, who has joined the Indians as part of their coaching staff for the remainder of the year. We'll hear that interview next when we return on Tribe Talk on the Indians Radio Network.
Live from Progressive.
Let's take another call.
Hey, Flo, ever wonder if you offer too many discounts?
Never. Homeowners, safe driver, snapshot, pay in full. Right now we offer more discounts than ever.
Doesn't that seem a bit excessive?
Wait, is this Bill and Tom from another insurance company?
Hang up.
Busted.
Getting you all the discounts you deserve. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and its affiliates, Mayfield Village, Ohio. Prices vary based on how you buy. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Moms, your little leaguers should be catching fly balls instead of catching colds, so help them share the moments, not the germs, with Purell Instant Hand Sanitizer. Just carry Purell jelly wraps in purses, backpacks, or in the van so your family can refresh their hands and kill germs when you're on the go. The next time it's your turn to bring post-game treats, you'll want to hand out some extra Purell as well. After all, Purell's the brand trusted and used in hospitals, so why not make it the brand trusted and used in Little League dugouts?
Refunds on ATM fees.
Discounts on loans. KeyBank believes that your banking relationship should be a rewarding one.
Higher interest CDs.
Mortgage closing discounts.
That's why we reward you every chance we get, from providing complimentary checks on selected accounts to reward points for everyday banking that you can redeem for stuff you want.
I got a bike. That's a nice bike, that bike.
So for a more rewarding banking relationship, visit a KeyBank branch today or go to key.com/getrewards. KeyBank, unlock your possibilities. Certain restrictions apply. For full details, visit key.com/getrewards. Member FDIC.
It's just an old ball, really. Nothing more. We owned it and shared it. We prayed it would come to us, and we wanted to give it away. We have watched it weather storms and bask in the sun, and it's always right here
This ball is
in our hands. Cleveland Indians, celebrating tradition.
Welcome back to Tribe Talk. Jim Rosenhaus along with you from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. The Indians and Royals meeting in a weekend series here in the Midwest as the Indians continue their final road trip of the 2012 campaign. We had a chance to visit with Mike Sarbaugh, the Columbus Clippers manager, earlier this week. Sarbaugh has certainly gained notoriety for being one of the top managers in all of minor league baseball and a key member of the Indians' player development system. Won-loss-wise, he's been extremely successful, back-to-back AAA championships, not only International League titles, but AAA championships in Columbus the last 2 seasons prior to this one. This year, Columbus missed the playoffs, but finished with a better than 500 record. In his career as a minor league manager, he's won 5 titles at the Single-A, the Double-A, and the AAA levels combined. He's been in the Indians organization since 1990 when he was acquired from the Milwaukee Brewers, the team that signed him as a non-drafted free agent as a player. So he certainly has a great perspective on the ups and downs of where the organization has been and been a key part of their player development system from a managing standpoint for a long, long time. And we talked to him about his most recent season with the Clippers, what he got out of it, and what he's most proud of about this year's AAA ball club in the Indian system.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good season. We had our ups and our downs this year. We just really couldn't get on track. But then when I come up here in September and I see, like Zach McAllister last night, Corey Kluber today, Chris Seddon, and you can go down the list. But to see where they started and now where they're finishing, that makes it worthwhile.
And when you look at your season this year, and maybe it's a bad way to put it, but that's more the norm at the AAA level. What you did the last 2 years is highly unusual, and when you look back on it, the amount of turnover, is that the biggest challenge that you have trying to keep a team winning at that level?
Yeah, it can be very difficult, especially when you have new players coming in quite often. We were fortunate the last couple of years. It just seemed like when one player left, the next player just picked up right where they left off, and this year was a little bit more of a struggle. So we feel fortunate what's happened the last couple of years, and we finished strong this year. And I thought for where we finished 6 games over 500, and I felt good about it at the end of the year.
You mentioned some of the players who you had down there at the start of the season that did so well up here and are making nice progress. Take us inside. What is the process when a pitcher or a position player is doing well and you start to get the phone calls from up here? How do you evaluate whether a player could be ready to come up here and help out?
Well, I think it's consistency, because as you know, when a player gets here, they need to be consistent in how they attack hitters as a pitcher, or consistent at bat, and that's a lot of what we look into, evaluate. But Corey Kluber is a great example. Last year, he had his ups and his downs. He struggled with his command at times, and just from the first start this year, he really locked in and was throwing strikes. Had made a lot of adjustments, and it really was paying off for him, and he earned that promotion.
When you look at some others, Cody Allen wasn't with you long, but when you see someone like that who just seems to be blowing through the minor leagues, how excited do you get when you get an arm like that, even if it's just for a little bit?
Yeah, we knew Cody was special. You don't see a player like that starting A-ball, go to Double-A for a couple weeks, and go to Triple-A, and he didn't really dominate that at the beginning in Triple-A, but I thought it was a good learning experience for him. He really he learned from it, and when he was there toward the end, he was really getting. He was pretty dominant, and anytime you can have a player like that, you feel good about it, because you don't see very often. But a lot of it's about the person being able to handle that, and Cody can handle it, and he's done a nice job here.
Columbus Clippers manager Mike Sarbaugh joining us up with the Indians for September, and there's so many different types of players who move through at the AAA level, and you talk about Cody Allen being that young guy coming up, great arm. Vinny Rotino gets a call to the big leagues here in September, and I know on the other side of 30, but what is it about him that you like to see get this opportunity here?
Well, it's just the player, the person, the work habits he has, just the passion for the game. Just like last night, he gets on a walk, steals second, ground ball to short. On the throw, he takes off for third. he helped get that run, and that's what he brings every day, and you fall in love with him just because of the passion and just he loves to play the game. Made a diving catch last night, so he's a guy you root for, that's for sure.
And when you say that, you spent time in the minor leagues. You know how hard it is to make those advances up to the major league level and then try and get there. Does it kind of hit home for you when you see someone like that doing everything they can to get there and having to overcome some hurdles along the way?
Yeah, especially he's in the club I'm in too, the non-drafted free agent out of college. So, you want to root for that guy. But Vinny's he's always going to put himself in the best position to succeed just because of how he prepares. He's always in the game. He's ready for any situation. He'll do whatever it takes. If he has to run through a wall to make a catch, whatever it takes. And you need those guys. And Vinny, he's a special player just because of what he brings to the table.
Mike Sarbaugh joining us, Columbus Clippers manager. A third season in Columbus this year. You had championship teams at different levels. We were talking earlier. You've been in this organization since 1990. People would see you. They say, hey, there's a young-looking guy. You would think Lou Brown of Major League as someone who's been around that long. But 1990, do you ever look back on it and say, man, where have the years gone?
Well, I do that quite a bit. Especially you get to spring training and you look back and it's wow. 1990 now it's 2011, 2012. A lot of people have come and gone, and you're still here. And you take a step back and you appreciate it. There's been a lot of good things that have happened over the years, and hopefully there's good things to come too. But the time does fly by.
And when you look at the player development side of it, you've been on that side and had such an impact on so many young players coming through the system. How much satisfaction do you get out of that part of it, and what is the lure for you to come back each year and be a part of that?
Well, I think, first of all, we're here to develop the players. I love teaching, love coaching, and that's our satisfaction is seeing our players develop and to be able to get to the major league level, or the player that's in in A ball that gets to go to Double A, or the player that's in Double A gets to go to Triple A. Just seeing them be promoted from all the hard work and all that it's all the dues they've paid. So there's a lot of satisfaction.
Best part of your job, calling a young man into the office and telling him he's going to the big leagues for the first time?
No doubt. Just that the first time that player hears that news, there's nothing like it. And when you're in there, it's worth what we're doing to be able to do that.
All right, Mike. Great to see you as always. Thanks a lot for coming by. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim.
That's Mike Sarbaugh, the Columbus Clippers manager, the Indians' AAA ball club, who has been with the ball club now for the remainder of the season, helping out with the coaching staff. Stay tuned. We have a final segment of Tribe Talk coming your way shortly after this timeout on the Indians Radio Network.
If you like painting and saving money, ask Sherwin-Williams and save 40% off paints and stains during our 4-day super sale, September 21st through the 24th. With 40% off our great paints and stains and 30% off painting supplies, you can give your whole home a color makeover. But hurry, these savings are so super, they won't be around for long. Find your nearest store at sherwinwilliams.com/sale. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Cleveland Indians jersey? Check. Red and blue face paint? Check.
What are you doing?
Getting ready for game day. I am so pumped to see the Tribe.
Cool. So you have tickets?
I knew I was forgetting something.
What would you do without me? Okay, get on your computer and go to Ticketmaster.com. They have all the tickets you need to catch the Indians in action.
Just got my tickets, thanks.
Hey, I still think you're forgetting something.
What's that?
A friend that just helped you out and you want to bring to the game, maybe?
Score your Indians tickets at Ticketmaster.com today.
The 0-1, swung on and missed, 0-2. Hamilton just hasn't looked good swinging the bat against the Indians, either in this series or back in Cleveland. He takes high and wide, 1-2 the count. He's hitting $190 against Tribe pitching this year, which I guess it's another case, can't explain it. Not in this goofy game. He'll probably hit this one into the upper deck and right. Here's the 2-2. A swing and a long drive. Deep right field. There she goes. Upper deck. Are you kidding me?
Welcome back to Tribe Talk, a final segment as the Indians are in Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium this weekend taking on the Kansas City Royals. Jim Rosenhaus along with you this weekend. Glad you could join us for another edition of Tribe Talk. And don't forget, we have one more regular season show next week when the Indians are back home. And Tribe Talk continues year-round, so we'll keep you up to date on all the news and information that you need regarding the Indians during the off-season. Another nice event at Progressive Field on the last homestand this past Tuesday, another Fill the House for Charity Night, and the beneficiary, Special Olympics of Ohio, the Greater Cleveland chapter. Jeff Vermillion, the field director for Special Olympics Ohio in the Greater Cleveland area, talked about what the night meant to his organization.
Well, it's very important, and we're just thrilled to be here. We have folks participating in tonight's event, including our national anthem singers, our 2 Special Olympics athletes. So it's great to get the word out and get our name out and enjoy some baseball.
And I know you have some activities during the summertime. How about in the fall and winter time? Are there events and activities for the kids?
This is actually a very busy time for us as we speak. We're having our state golf championships in Cincinnati this week, and we have bowling competitions, and then that goes. We just finished up our state softball tournament in the Toledo area, and then after that we'll head into our aquatic season and then our winter sports. So we're very busy.
And when you look at money raised, what does it go for initially, an event like this? Maybe money that you weren't necessarily planning on.
Exactly. Primarily it will go to provide medals and ribbons for our athletes, provide meals and transportation costs to get them to and from training and competitions, and everything from volunteer T-shirts to bottled water at our events.
When it was all said and done, more than $16,000 raised for the Special Olympics this past Tuesday night, and the total since the program began, and that's Fill the House for Charity, back in 2009 was the first year. The initiative has now raised more than $1.75 million in monetary and in-kind donations for participating Ohio nonprofits. And one more chance to be involved as the Indians' final Fill the House for Charity Night will be next Tuesday, October the 2nd, when the White Sox are in town, and you'll be able to help out and raise some money for Coats for Kids. So it should be a great night there. And that's going to do it for this edition of Tribe Talk. We're glad you could join us this week. Be sure to tune in next week when the Indians are back home on their final homestand of the season. We'll have another edition of Tribe Talk for you then. Until then, this is Jim Rosenhaus reminding you that you've been listening to Tribe Talk on the Cleveland Indians Radio Network.